Community. So welcome, Andy, and over to you.
Thank you and welcome, and hello to those that I know that are online today. Again, it's always nice to be invited in to just share some of the work that we do here in Kent Foreign Rescue Service. I am going to turn off my camera because I'm at home, so it does sometimes kick me out. So if I turn my camera off, I'll turn it back on once I'm finished the presentation. If there are any questions, if not, I'll wait till the panel discussions. So yes, thank you for this opportunity. It's really nice to share Kent Foreign Rescue Service support in this arena. As always, we're very open to sharing what we do. And as Jane says, I'm Andy Biggington. I've done 27 years here in the fire service. I'm also a veteran. 2 tours Northern Ireland, Gulf War, Canada, Germany, etc. But my day-to-day responsibilities are really the management of the stations in my cluster, and in the real world, that's a district. So I'm district commander for Thanet, which is Broadstairs, Ramsgate, Margate. But I've also got an operational response, and before this meeting I've been out a couple of times today supporting our operational crews at certain incidents. I am one of many safeguarding officers. I'm a welfare support officer, Armed Forces Covenant lead and the Armed Force Champions lead. So I've got a very colourful and busy life here in Kent Fire Service, but I thoroughly enjoy it and really thrive on the work that we do. Could I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So this has come from our main intranet page, because we do have a customer promise, and our new branding, as you can see, the bottom right there is everyone together, which I think really feeds nicely into our customer promise. I believe this promise sets out our commitment, especially to all members of the public and our partner agencies that we support, especially the tag there, the personalised and accessible services, because I think this links really nice into us signing the covenant and additional support we've put in place. It does engage our forces communities. So that's our customer promise for everybody. But I believe, as I said there, that providing personalised and accessible services really links into the covenant work and the Armed Force Network work that we do to support our forces communities out there. Slide 3, thank you. So I know that all fire and rescue services around the country do offer this type of engagement, but in Kent we offer it in differing ways. So we do a home fire safety visit, which is delivered by our operational crews, and they offer standard advice. But if the customer needs anything additional to that, a priority referral is generated. So the home fire safety visit will include escape plans, smoke alarms, etc., and advice around all other issues that are in the property. But if anything's needed more, those guys and girls will actually refer into our Safe and Well team, which is 20 plus people who've got vans that carry a number of interventions, which I'll touch on just here. So as I said, Safe and Well, they offer additional interventions, anything from audio alarms, dementia items, disability support. But again, this team are really aware of asking a question and identifying anything military, especially around the prompts, around tattoos, medals, pictures, the way people are talking and certain vocabulary. They're really sort of tuned to that. But just some of the interventions we've got there, the top left one you can see it's a letterbox plate that we can put over somebody's letterbox, and that stops things like petrol, excrement, fireworks going through someone's letterbox. If they're being bullied or threatened by anything, we can block up the letterboxes. The alarm in the middle there, that's one of our audio alarms. So that's got a vibrating pad for under the pillow and strobe light, and sometimes it will shout at you, fire, if you need to understand that. The silver thing at the top right, that's actual metal ashtray with a tube on it. So if anyone's got disabilities, arthritis, amputations, and they still need to smoke, a carer can put a cigarette into the plastic tube, and they can still smoke, and the ash will fall straight into the ashtray. But we will offer obviously smoking advice, but we're not there to stop people smoking, but to make their lives better for them. Again, we have fire retardant sprays that we can do carpets, curtains, where people are, and furniture where people are sitting. The lady in the wheelchair there, she's got a smoker's apron. So if the cigarette falls into her lap, it's actually then into a fireproof retardant apron. We give bedding packs away that are fire retardant as well, so single and doubles. The bottom left there, that's actually a cover over a plug socket for people with dementia. We've been to an instance where members of the public, our customers, have actually started a fire because they keep reheating, say, like a wheat bag or a nice comfort pillow. They keep forgetting they're doing it, and over time they set it alight. So we can put a blocker over the plug socket. Again, we've got timers for cooking, and obviously signs we can put on the wall for people to understand that you can call 999 for fire, police and ambulance, but with that additional advice around Coast Guard as well if we're down by the seaside. So thank you. Next slide. As most organisations, we do have a designated safeguarding team. It's got bigger over the years. As it says there, we've got one safeguarding manager, a safeguarding officer, and then 12 designated safeguarding officers. Albeit everybody in Kent Fire Rescue Service is safeguarded aware, be it child, be it adult, be it hoarding, prevent, fire setting, etc., etc. The 12 DSOs, though, they are the individuals that case manage anything that comes in. And again, they will ask the question around, have they served? Are they a recognised carer? Because as we know, some people are looking after their parents, their brothers, sisters, their aunts or uncles, and they don't recognise them as being carers of a veteran. So they will ask that question, which is really, really useful. We do have an out of hours on-call service. So someone like myself, an officer that's on call during the evenings or during the weekends, the crews can actually request a phone call at scene and ask questions of me. But because I'm not there face to face sometimes, I will ask questions of the crews looking for, again, the Armed Forces link around prompts. Again, pictures, medals, tattoos, the way people are presenting, anything they can do that. And we've got many case studies that I can talk outside of this arena to actually update on how we've done that and who we supported through it. It says there, volunteers. I've got a number of volunteers on the conference today, so welcome Stu and Tobias. And they are part of our volunteer response team. And these team will support operational crews incidents, so they'll take away the customer needs while we're still focusing on the fire, the RTC, whatever incident we got, gas leak, like I was at earlier. This team will actually focus on the customers. If they need rehousing, if they need clothing, if they need anything outside the property, any support that they need, they will give them. And now this team, at least 3/4 of this team, are Armed Forces Network champions, and which is fantastic. And for me, it benefits those that are most in need during a traumatic incident. These volunteers are second to none. They've all got other jobs. Some others have got 2 or 3 other jobs, but they volunteer their services, come support us at operational incidents where needed, and they are Armed Forces aware, which is fantastic for us. So next slide, please. So this slide goes on to all the additional support that we've got outside of the bespoke. Outside of the general things that we do. So the next slide, I think it's stuck. There you go. Thank you very much. So it says there, we've got multi-agency task force, MTFs. So there are many task forces within Kent, but we support 2 of those, one in Medway, one in Margate, with dedicated personnel. Now I know that their referral forms are Armed Forces compliant, because I used to manage the Margate task force. And as part of that, I made sure that the referral forms, one of the second or third questions was, have you served? And that question around caring and support. Okay, that's not for me. Caring and support. We do have in service, we have 26 Armed Forces Network champions. We've got a couple of other people come through next year, but these are all, they're not all operational. They come from a whole raft of our workforce. So we do have operational officers that are champions. We have corporate members of staff. We have actually reservists as well. Some of our reservists are our champions, which is really, really useful. They bring a wealth of information and knowledge to us. And again, as I just said, our volunteers are part of that network as well, and I can't celebrate them enough. So veteran hub support. We've just supported Canterbury City Council in the first hub there. Fantastic event. Kent Fire was there to support and assist in the running and arranging of that. And on the first session, at the height of the morning, we had 20 veterans attend. Fantastic on the first event. We had Nepalese guys and girls there as well, so it really brought the community together. With that, we've got a meeting on Monday because 2 of the veterans want to actually help us with the Century Garden, and we've got some funding and I'm trying to think of the word, some resources coming from Travis Perkins that they want to give to us as part of this, which is fantastic, really, really, really useful. We're also assisting Ken from Kent Arts and Wellbeing with an initiative in Thanet at Morris House. That's now moved that into the community, where we're looking at a ceramics club, an animation club, and also a choir. And that's all going to come together after the 2-3 year initiative and actually have a choir celebration with everything that's gone on around us within that. Again, LGBT and Forces Network, I've put that in there because we've brought those 2 networks together, and we've got our LGBT chairperson on the line today, because we know both those networks do resemble each other, in the fact that each group is less likely to access or ask for help or support, due to the stigmas or pride. So we've brought those two groups together to actually go out in the community saying, look, these two networks are the same, but we want to bring you together and talk about that, and that's working really, really well. We've got recruitment and retainment, so that's really ensuring that our reservists receive the relevant support, to maintain their fire service role, but also that they don't have to leave their military operational commitments. So we are giving them the right leave entitlements. We're giving them the support they need, especially, they get trimmed when they come back from operations, but also we've got a diffusing process they can tap into at Kent Fire here as well if things trigger them while they're working for us, which is really, really important. And again, recruitment, we are signed up to those online websites, the CTP, Forces Families, to name a couple, but we are looking at how can we recruit more rurally, some of our reservists that we can actually perhaps get into being on-call firefighters, because they've got the strengths, the needs, the training that sort of cross over into our world as well. So it's really, really important that we can do that. We have spoken with Kent Police about joint recruitment campaigns. So some of the colleagues are on here today, and how that looks, we're not sure just yet, but we are going to look at how we can do something together, perhaps with police, CCAMP and fire as a sort of a county recruitment campaign. Joint exercising, we've done a lot of work with our medical corps here in Ditton in Kent. One of the sergeant majors there is one of our first aid instructors, and we've done some work closely with him to do some exercising around medical response. But we are looking at perhaps liaising with the PWR and engineers around some kind of multi-agency or munitions exercise in the future, perhaps next year, just to understand how we work and they work and how we can come together. It's really, really important for us to actually understand it, because we've got a number of bases and sections within Kent that could cause an issue if there were to be a fire and somebody wasn't on base at the time. Attendance at events and training. So really today's conference, being invited here to actually share what we do, really, really important that we do that. And I'm really, really happy to be here and chat through some of the things that we are doing. It's not an exhaustive list. There are other things, but I've only got sort of 10, 15 minutes to chat through that. I know it's important to listen to other people too. But again, being part of civilian military partnerships, before this meeting, I was in the Kent one this afternoon, just listening and feeding back to some of the things that we've done locally. Armed Force Network training, again, that links in today. Really important that we share our lived experiences with those new champions, which I've been invited in to do, and I do on a regular basis. Again, as most organisations here do, Armed Forces Days, remembrance parades and celebrations coming up. To date, we've got 45 fire stations and personnel attending remembrance parades this year, which is fantastic, and that's physical attendance, not the virtual or just somebody dropping a reef off and driving away. So that's really, 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 really good support this year for that. And just on the last point, really, strategic collaborative support. We are really hot at Kent Fire Rescue Service, knowing that we can't do it all ourselves, and collaboration being together is one of those things that supports the forces community. So through that, what does it look like? We sit on many, many forums, panels and groups, Kent Resilience Forum, I said the multi-agency task forces, partnership boards, unit welfare officers attendance. We're also part of the employees recognition scheme mentoring register. So I've helped a number of organisations and partners go through their application forms, but also asking the question about, have you considered the covenant? Have you considered this? What's the benefits for you? What's the benefits for your customer and your workforce? So it's really, really important. And I think lastly, as it says, for me, it is about collaborative partnerships. It's really important that we share what we do and we take on other people's views as well. Because going back to the our customer promise, it's about asking, how can we do better? Can we maintain that? How can we help? It's about asking the question of everybody. So Jane, I think that's me for the slides, which I think is next question is questions. My details are bottom left. Please feel free to email me, call me at any time. I'm more than happy to take questions, conversations, ideas. I'm more than happy to feed in and support where I can.